He's become a permanent feature on, and there were weeks even. I mean, before you even came, there were weeks when we wouldn't need a referee. We're using a different person back then. We had to call him all the way in Ireland, and there were months where we'd be like, there's nothing.
I'm not content.
The last 2
but
seasons.
now you are here every Monday, and you take up a bulk of the show. Feeling replenished and ready for the week ahead. Thanks to Thibaut Touch and Loot Love. They do it again tomorrow between 3 and 6. It's the road to the Metro FM Music Awards down in Mbombela, in Mpumalanga. It's going to be such a ball. I haven't been to the awards in many, many years, over 10 years. And I get to do it. Yeah, it's been a long time. I get to do it again this Saturday. So I can't wait for that. But listen, today's show is going to be an interesting one. And I don't know why Mazola waited till the last minute to give me this. We've been going at it with Tatane here. We've been talking with the principal. Every single coach has complained. This weekend, there was even an owner of a team who looked at the fourth official and looked at a bench of the opposition and said, you must have paid this referee. Says, you must have paid this referee because this standard, this level is not on. We've got a coach who was listening to our show who says, hey, the head of referees, what is he talking about? The level of refereeing in this country is the gutter.
All-time low.
It is at its lowest. But I had the referee here, and I walked away disappointed at myself and for you as well, because there's nothing I can do against a man who says, no, we're not doing so badly, because the stats of every single match with the refereeing calls is never released. We don't get that information at the end of the match until somebody who listens to the show, has heard our cries, is bosom buddies with Mazola, says, I'll do the work, just like Opta Jabu does, just like Ncube let Cash and Sports do. These are passionate people that love sport and want to see it do great. Compiled what is in front of us now, an unbelievable report. An unbelievable report.
This guy didn't sleep.
On the state of refereeing in this country. I am ashamed, Victor. I am ashamed of what I'm looking at. I am counting here at how many games outcomes have been decided on shady refereeing. On shady refereeing that is not good enough for this level. On mistakes that are either very evident, glaring, and have stolen from people that go into a training field to train every day.
What's your count there? How many games?
I'm going to count them for you. I'm going to count how many games were affected by just daylight robbery and uneducated referees. I'm going to count for you. But we're going to give you those stats today. Alongside, of course, what the weekend that was. Hey, it's the Three Wise Men. When we started having Victor here, he was here just to look at one or two incidents. He's become a permanent feature on, and there were weeks even. I mean, before you even came, there were weeks when we wouldn't need a referee. We're using a different person back then. We had to call him all the way in Ireland, and there were months where we'd be like, there's nothing.
I'm not content.
The last 2
but
seasons.
now you are here every Monday, and you take up a bulk of the show. All feel content. What do you have today?
Obvious.
I see you are talking about refereeing. Coaches are crying every week. It's a concern in the country.
That's an understatement. That a concern.
Yeah. You can use those big words, Mazola. It's a concern, and it's a very big concern. And fortunately, or unfortunately, the guys at SAFA need to. The guys responsible, which is Abdul and Mr. Gomez, technical committee, the whole SAFA referees department. I hope they are looking at it in order to improve.
So there's another thing that we need to talk about as well.
Yeah.
What happened in the women's game over the weekend. If you haven't seen the visuals, go and take a look at it. We'll play you a clip as well. I've never seen that.
I've never seen anything.
I've seen fights. I've seen a Diego Maradona fight. I've seen all sorts of things. I've never seen anything like that.
This weekend, if I can tell you what happened in Mbombela as well.
This is in the TS Stellenbosch game.
Yeah, when referees came out of the dressing room, the tires were punched.
Of their cars, their vehicles.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, listen, what happened in that Royal AM match in the women's game. It was Royal AM and Andile, the new entrants into professional football. I'll tell you all about it, and we'll play you a clip. I hope that it can highlight what we're talking about. So we'll go into that. And there's also a question here. We've covered this before, but a little bit later on, I'd like you to cover it again.
Okay.
It comes from Loyiso. He _S_ my brother. There's 3 other people that had asked me. I just didn't save the thing. It says, please ask Tatana, what did law says about this? Why wasn't the player sent off? And the same happened also at Man United game with Onana. Basically speaking about Martinez, who was also booked in the first half. Then he got a second yellow card during the penalty shootout, but he wasn't sent off. We have covered it before.
Yes.
If you get a yellow card during the match and you get another yellow card during the penalty shootout, why don't you get a red, or should you get a red? So Tatana will cover that there. Mazola, what do you have?
Well, Andile will explain why the Blue Bulls and Mamelodi Sundowns were trying to work together on alleviating the pressure that's on Sundowns with their busy schedule. And then we've got a couple of unhappy coaches who are under pressure from a results point of view. I don't think their jobs are on the line, but we've got Gavin Hunt as well as Eric Tinkler speaking about how possibly to turn things around in the remaining matches. And then the Orlando Pirates coach, rather the Amazulu coach, says Orlando Pirates celebrated like they won the World Cup over the weekend.
Wow, okay, 17 after the hour 6. Welcome to it. This is Sports Are Amplified with Andile. Lyle Foster gets a goal over the weekend in the Premier League, and it was one that he celebrated because he's been off, of course, through injuries and other different reasons for a while now. This is Lyle Foster's goal.
Comes Harmer's corner. McBurney's rising. He got a touch to the header, but he's clattered into the defender at the same time. Wide on the far side, it's one of the goal scorers, Assignon, into the penalty area, left-footed. Centres the ball, and Burnley make it 3-1. The ball was fired home there by Lyle Foster in front of the travelling Burnley supporters. Gerbic pounced the right way, but he couldn't prevent the ball from nestling in his bottom left-hand corner.
Lyle Foster, of course, getting the 3 points alongside with his team. Much needed as they're in danger of being relegated. One wonders, is it too little too late for Burnley, though? Let's move on to the Premier League. I switched off at 3-2 because at 3-0, I thought Man United have this in the bag. It went 3-1, it went 3-2, and I said, I can't. I need to see my kids and play with them with a smile. I don't want to be throwing them on the bed, not kindly, but throwing them with a bit of force because Man United has done that to me. So here's Andre Onana, the goalkeeper, speaking about reaching the final.
Well, it's a mixed feeling, no? Of course, the most important thing is the victory, but the way we won, it's a difficult situation because we had the game under control, and with some individual mistakes, we give some goal away. But we will learn from our mistakes, and we have to continue working hard.
We have to continue working hard, but Man United are in the final, could see themselves getting a trophy this season. A top 5 finish would be great as well, and perhaps a slot in European football. Let's come back home now to the DStv Premiership, where Richards Bay beat Kaizer Chiefs.
He called it.
Who called it?
Coach Kanu.
He did. No. 2 weeks ago, Coach Kanu said, I wish, this was after the match that played against Golden Arrows, was it?
I think it was.
Was immediately after the passing of Luc Fleurs.
Yes, and he says, game was moved. And
and he said, I would love to play them right now because Nadim on Friday said any team that plays Kaizer Chiefs right now would win.
Would fancy themselves.
And he's been right.
He called it.
He called it. So here it is, Richards Bay versus Chiefs.
Natal Rich Boys wathegetsa momamedi Simpiwe Mtlinek 1 Richards Bay not a Kaizer Chiefs I bona swa go go emisa mbireu ya kwe teka pola romela ka ne potlaka artabale ne re go tep Hloko ya Donda ka ona Mr. Mkhalnene hloko le ka sekahle ungayifananisa na navigator ungayifananisa na tomtom loko swiranda hi mako direction ikote ku va yi kongomisa life fanele ku yi ya kona yi bomba kan'we hetelela ya ntsontswa ritabala
fanele phansi oyaphakamisa ibhola ke fanele pa ya phakusi nethi yanibeka phakathi Richards Bay angathi ukapteni lo umcineka lo shayele egoli.
The beautiful voices of SABC Sport there in different languages all along your radio stations. Muganalone and Lisedi FM as well as Ukhozi FM is where those voices were coming from. Let's go straight into Kevin Johnson now, speaking on why Chiefs have to start over again.
Again, one of those games where the opposition has one chance at goal and you have 85% ball possession and we're not able to win the game. So yes, we are very angry with ourselves, but at the same time, I thought we should have won the game in the first half. We have to go back and we have to start again, even though we've only got 6 games left now. We have to make the tide has to turn for Kaizer Chiefs somewhere.
I feel sorry for Kevin Johnson. I really do.
Why?
I think Kevin Johnson goes into these and just says whatever comes to mind at the time because, I mean, last week, Kevin Johnson said we just have to use a different team. I don't even know what that means because he can only use Kaizer Chiefs and the players that he's got at Kaizer Chiefs. You know, I didn't even know. And you listen to this again. I mean, doesn't really say much, does he, does Kevin Johnson? And I understand, Coach, if you're going to lose, draw, not win, reach expectations of the people, and you get asked the same question every single weekend because of your performance, yet you must remain positive because that's the Chiefs' way. You must remain positive. You mustn't pick on any individual players. Yeah. You must be a unit. What else are you going to say?
Sure. Yeah.
What are you going to say every weekend?
Yeah, from that point of view, I guess you've got a feel for him. But
guys, do you remember the post-match interviews that Mangete was doing towards the end of his tenure? Do you remember
Steve Kompela was the same?
Steve Kompela was a lot better as well. I mean, he had the big words. Who else was there just before Kevin, man? Molefe Ncube. Guys, you can go back. After 3-4 losses, what are you going to say?
You don't know what to say anymore.
You don't know what to say anymore.
And you have to face the press. There's no other way.
You have to show up. This is Kevin Johnson again speaking on, and I don't know who asked this. Mazola, sometimes ask journalists. A calf spot.
I never say goodbye until the last game. So we as a team, we as a technical team, we have to push as hard as we can. So for us, that's not out of our way. The players know that. And it's one major pressure bubble that we are in now, and we have to break the pressure bubble somewhere.
Can I channel my inner Nadim?
Go for it.
Chiefs are not going to make the top 8. There's no chance.
I don't know about that. I'm talking about a calf spot.
Yeah, I'm saying, if they're not going to make top 8, they're not making calf spot. So, I mean, they were 10th on the log table at the moment.
I mean, they're 10th with 30 points, which is, for all of those speaking relegation, they're safe. At 30 points in the DStv Premiership, you're pretty much safe. You're not going to be involved in the relegation.
They've got SuperSport and Sundowns back-to-back. Yes, SuperSport are struggling, but anybody, like we were saying, anybody who's playing Chiefs fancies their chances lately.
Listen, if Chiefs don't win their next game and the 3 teams under them, Polokwane City, Royal AM, Amazulu, win their games, you could find Chiefs in 14th.
Yeah.
It's like that. Chiefs
and it's possible. The way they're playing right now, it's possible that they could finish 14th.
Oh, man. Coach Kevin Johnson there. Let's move on now to Coach Jose Ribeiro, who perhaps agrees here with his opponent.
Probably we didn't play brilliant like maybe in the last 2-3 games. We managed to be extremely competitive today, clean sheet, always on the game. We were patient enough to get one result that I don't think that if I said that we deserve it, I'm lying.
So they didn't deserve that win there, does Coach Jose Ribeiro out at Orlando Pirates. Let's move on now to Sead Ramovic, who was not happy once again about the standard and saying it is getting poorer.
And then I hear in the media that the chief of the refs, the head guy, says he is very happy about performance from the referees and we don't have any proof. So something like this, he should also be ashamed. Because the quality of the refs, 80%, let's say, are maybe for NFD, but not for PSL. If you want a player that don't have the quality, what you do? He has to go to NFD to improve and then to come up, right? But why not for the same standard for the refs? It's not about me, it's not about us, it's about the standard of the referees in PSL is poor.
The standard is poor. He goes on further to say it is a disgrace.
It's a disgrace. It's embarrassing how the quality of the referees are. Not just him, also the fourth official, Tabo. He made a big mistake when we played against Spurs. Penalty after 3 minutes, no penalty. And he don't get punished. He don't get anything. But we lost 3 points. So it means then the game against Sundowns against Spurs, where he was the ref. Again a mistake. And he still stand there, and it's a disgrace.
Go to our Facebook page and watch Tatana's face while
if you are live right now with us on SABC Sport on Instagram, Facebook, as well as on YouTube later, look at the man who, of course, stands for the referees here. His face,
says it all. It says it all.
Hey, Sundowns played over the weekend. They went all the way to Tunisia and didn't do so well. 1-0 is how they lost. But Rolando Mokoena lambasted them, and he asked the media, he said, are you happy with how your team played against us at home? Are you happy with a team as big as this team, Esperance, at home, parking the bus? He asked it to the journalist who was asking him, you know, how do you feel losing? He says, okay, we lost, but how do you feel watching your team play like that at home? Are you happy with that? Have a listen to Rolando Mokoena on Esperance parking the bus.
When I watch the games of Esperance, South Africa, the 2 games against Hilal, Asec, I don't remember a team dominating Esperance here at home like we did. In fact, I would like to ask you guys, and this is you as the Tunisian media, how many times do you see Esperance parking the bus at home? And are you guys happy to see one of your biggest clubs in this country playing against Mazola Sundowns and parking the bus? If you guys are happy, then okay, there's no problem with me with that.
He took them on, and he asked the questions there. And he comes back, of course, this Friday to try and overturn that 1-0 result there. He's been having a lot of practice trying to crack reinforced defenses. 27 after the hour 6. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get to Mazola first with the stories. Mazola, which one are you starting with?
I'm going to start with Mamelodi Sundowns. Let's carry on from there, and the Blue Bulls.
1831 in the Mighty Metro FM. It's the Three Wise Men on a Monday as we look back at the weekend that was. I'd love to take you on and hear your thoughts on anything that happened over the weekend that is sports related. I'm still going to get into what happened in the women's football. It is shameful. We should be ashamed of ourselves because I've said this before. Dr. Ivan Koza always says that what happens in sport, and particularly in football, being the biggest influential sport in this country and on this continent, is a reflection of society. We saw a reflection of our society on that field. It was shameful. Unbelievable. Do we have something from there? Let's see if we can figure out. Play it.
Shukulukileke ekwanje akubethwa amaguduva ngaphakathi etatawini akuyonakala ake Princess Makoko Stadium yafunga bona akudlala bentazana angibona sekungene nebench lonke alinga ukuyokubamba lapha ke abadlali besichema asayo ke iRoyal AM.
And for those, if you don't understand the language, it was a full-on boxing fight.
No, proper.
Full-on, Davik.
Proper boxing.
Full-on. Like the ladies, the women, the girls were fully fighting. Like it was a boxing match. It was flying kicks. It was embarrassing.
I've never seen anything like that.
In professional, well, they say it's not a professional league, but in professional football, top-flight football on television.
Exactly. I think the report of the match commissioner and the referee will be key in dealing with the culprit.
Get onto social media and watch it. It's there. It's not something I care to even get into because people like that should not be a part of our game.
Exactly.
Should not be. Mazola, we're taking your time. Go for it.
Yeah, well, like I said, let's start with the Mamelodi Sundowns and the Blue Bulls. Obviously, Sundowns were out in Tunis, Esperance for the CAF Champions League first leg tie rather, and coming back, they've got a fixture against my audio. Yeah, it's not so great. It's not so good. Malcolm's gonna. Should I switch mics?
Much better there?
Is that better?
Much better. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so they were out in Esperance and they've come back almost immediately to try and then play that fixture against Kukune tomorrow night. But they did try to change the fixture, speaking to the Blue Bulls, because the Blue Bulls are playing on Saturday and they were trying to see if they can move their fixture at Loftus on a Friday so from a Friday to a Saturday or a Sunday, just to give them a little bit more recovery time, but that wasn't possible. I reached out to the Blue Bulls spokesperson, Hlungwani. So, I mean, it's a lengthy statement, but let me read a little bit of it, where he says, "I can confirm that we're in conversation with our partner Sundowns, who submitted the request. We then engaged with a number of our rugby stakeholders to try and accommodate the schedule switch, because we understand the pressure of multi-tournament campaigns and the importance of recovery. Unfortunately, we have not been able to find a solution that works for all parties involved, despite presenting a few options to the team at Mamelodi Sundowns. One of the options, I'm told, Sundowns contemplated trying to move the game to FNB Stadium, but that wasn't the case. It hasn't happened. So Sundowns will play tomorrow, Skukune, and then a few days later on a Friday night, play Esperance.
And this is something that only Sundowns, especially this season, let me speak for this season. I mean, when it got to the last 16, the quarterfinals, the semifinals, only Sundowns has been playing so many games. The other teams on the continent have been given reprieve by the different leagues. Yeah. I mean, if you look at Esperance, for instance, they are quite a few games behind in their league campaign. Ahead of the weekend's game, Sundowns had played about 21 matches or so, and Esperance had played about 15 or so. And then if you look at Al Ahly as well in the Egyptian Premier League, they are miles behind their rivals in the Egyptian Premier League, and they are also in the semi-finals of the competition. But Mamelodi Sundowns, if you look at their rivals in the DStv Premiership, they're only just 2 games behind, which means they've kept up. They've not had a lot of their games postponed. And I mean, those conversations about how tired the players are. We took a look at the match. I think Happy Jelly that we had in studio, who said that he remembers the season when, I think it was Andile Jali, that played 46 games that season, which was one of the records that still stood. This Sundowns team, if they go all the way in this Nedbank, finish the DStv Premiership and go all the way in the Champions League, we're going to be sitting with players that have played almost 50 games is what we're going to be sitting with. But we'll give you those stats as we go. And I saw they were training at night, some midnight training or something like that. So Chiefs aren't the only ones, for those who were saying Chiefs. What else do you have?
We've got some audio for the next 3 stories or so. It's Pablo Martin after that controversial win for Pirates at Orlando Stadium. The coach, Amazulu coach, saying Pirates celebrated like they were winning the World Cup. First of all, the first clip, he talks about how he felt their behavior was unprofessional at the end of the match.
I have to say that I saw lack of young gentlemen in that situation, because even against them they were not capable of beating us, and when Brooks was on the ground with 9 players, they took advantage to progress and to score the goal. But it's something that doesn't surprise me, because the other day in the Cup, again, we kick a ball out because one of their players was on the ground. The ball was kicked when we were dominating the game in the half pitch, and they kicked the ball back to a throw for a goal kick, and they went to press. So,
Tatana, what do the rules say about kicking the ball out for fair play sake?
It's upon the team. There is no rule that says you must kick the ball there and there. You can kick it anywhere as long as you have given to the opponent.
Okay. So the second clip, the Amazulu coach then talks about, I mentioned it earlier, that Orlando Pirates celebrated like they won the World Cup, even though their coach Jose Ribeiro says they did not deserve the win.
From my side, when you are the underdog and the opponent needs to do these things or waste time or celebrate like if they were winning the World Cup, when they have to beat us this way, the other day was with less numerical advantage, today even with more, because we have 1 less player. And from there, I only can feel proud of what my team is doing, competing against this kind of teams.
The next 2 stories, we've got 2 coaches who are currently struggling in the DStv Premiership. This is the race for the real CAF sport now, not other things. It's Gavin Hunt and Eric Tinkler. But Gavin Hunt, first of all, after losing to Chipa, believes he might have identified their Achilles heel ahead of facing Chiefs in Polokwane on Saturday.
But you got to win, you got to score. We could have been 3-4-0 at half time, out of sight. We didn't score those goals. In the first minute we broke through, keeper made the save, and then when we 1-0 down, how many chances? The second half they never came in our box. So yeah, that's football. punishes you sometimes, and it's punished us. That's certainly last couple of games.
Football is punishing Cape Town City with their coach Eric Tinkler, also frustrated with their poor run. Remember, Andile, they have not won a single game in 2024, and at some point they had that record for the club where they won 6 games in a row. I remember if it was around December, but as of now, since the year started, we came back from the AFCON. Eric Tinkler has yet to register a win. This is him talking about the 2-2 draw against Polokwane City.
There's not much more I can do because my job is to tactically prepare the players. My job is to manage the players, manage their expectations, my expectations, club's expectations, their expectations. That's my job. When they get on that field for 90 minutes, that's their responsibility, not mine. So now I've got to change that mindset. I've got to make them aware that when you get on that field, you have a responsibility to get the result.
Well said from Coach Eric Tinkler there. The final story, just an update from Coach Hlungwani talking about Teboho Mokoena, who of course left people wondering why he had missed that first leg encounter against Esperance. Hopefully he will be back on Friday when Masanda Wana take on Esperance at Loftus. The coach talks about whether Teboho will be fit and the atmosphere out in Esperance.
Yeah, Teboho Mokoena was almost ready. But we didn't want to take that risk because of the schedule that we have going forward. But we'll see how it goes. How did I find the atmosphere? I thought it was electrifying. I thought it was good, vibrant. And I think it helped the Esperance team because in difficult moments, they pushed the team.
Well, that's it from me, Andile. Let's see what happens on, tomorrow when SuperSport, Sundowns rather, take on Sekhukhune.
Yeah, I'm going to the game. Loftus, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to be at that game there, Sekhukhune versus, or rather, Mamelodi Sundowns versus Sekhukhune. Can't wait for that.
To watch your brother?
To watch the game. I want to watch the game.
Oh, okay.
Why must be my brother? I'm going to watch the game. He happens to be playing and wearing jersey number 10, as he should, but, I'm going to go watch the game. Chiefs versus SuperSport. That should be an interesting one. Huh?
Are you going there also?
No, but it's
in Polokwane.
Yeah, it's in Polokwane. Because, you've got a team that can't score to save their lives and a team that can't defend to save their lives. It's 1841. Tatane, what do you have? Firstly, let's answer the question.
Yeah.
Yellow card during the game, yellow card during penalties. Mm-hmm. Why is it not a red card?
We said it beginning of the season that the law has been changed, has been amended to say penalty shootout is not part of the match, but it's a manner of deciding who should move to the next round. Cautions received during the match are not carried over to penalty shootout, meaning if you get a yellow card during the match, you get another yellow card during penalty shootout, you cannot be sent off. But in that match, you will be regarded as having received 2 yellow cards. So it means in the PSL, when you get 4 yellow cards, you are suspended for the next game. So this one goes 2. So the other 2 that might
Why do you think that is, though, Tatane? Why wouldn't you get a red card? What was the rationale behind that rule?
The game is 90 minutes. If you can't score, we move now to extra time. Extra time, you can't score, the game is finished. But we need a winner.
But a yellow in 90 minutes and a yellow in extra time still is a red?
No.
So even in extra time?
No, yes. Extra time and 90 minutes is a red. Yes, that's correct. Okay.
So once it's over, then the penalties count as just an extra yellow, but it does not count as a red.
Exactly. Because penalty shootout is not part of the match.
Can you get a red during penalties? I've never seen anybody get a red during penalties.
Yeah, you can, especially if you do abusive language. That's the only thing that can happen. But when you kick, it's only when you do what you call feinting. You move up and down, and then before the ball is
when you're not in one motion, yeah.
Yes, that's the only time you can get a yellow.
All right, go for it. What do you have?
Today is just to condemn the behavior of, let's start with TS Galaxy. We saw they are complaining about offside. There's no offside, or there is offside. Penalties, which they don't even have a case. The only time where they have a case is when the goal was scored. Apparently, it looks like you
can't say apparently.
No, I think we're going into soccer zone.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to soccer zone.
So tell us what it looks like.
Yeah, the defender made or challenged the goalkeeper. The ball went down and then they scored. So there, the law says when the goalkeeper has the ball, he cannot be challenged.
Yes.
So the keeper was challenged. So therefore, and eventually they scored. And it happened, Mango, Shalus and Sikukune. It happened against Chipa and Amazulu. So similar thing happened. So I understand the frustration of having a goal scored in that manner.
But also it's to the defense of Siadramovic and Tim Sugazi.
Yeah.
If it was just this game and a once-off,
I don't think they would have reacted like that.
Yeah, but this is...
It's a build-up.
For them especially. Yeah. It's every week that a decision that costs them 3 points is made.
But to go to an extent of punching the referee's cards...
Well, you don't know who did that.
Yeah, but the home team is responsible for the security of the referees. So the home team is responsible in that regard. And if you check the NSL rules, Article 12, it says only 5 officials and 2 may be in the vicinity of the field of play. Others must go out. Team of ground in I'll read here. No other club member official may be within the perimeter during the match. So team aphume my VIP nalahlala khona mase kangena lana emotions izomthatha ngoba we saw even another gestures that he used that if the match commissioner writes something like that, it's not nice.
What gesture did he use?
The gesture of showing money,
saying that the referees were paid.
We don't know, but that gesture in our streets, it means there's money. So the match commissioner's report, if it's indicated like that, of course they need to prove legally so and so.
We're addressing the big wound, but not the symptoms. The symptoms are referees.
Absolutely.
The symptoms are referees. They've been so poor. They've been so bad. We've got the stats in front of us. Like I said, we got them today. So I need to go study them. I need to go take a look at them so that I can come back here and speak with some sort of authority. But the referees are the cause of what we are seeing.
You know, when Tatana started and said, I want to condemn, I thought he was going to condemn the referees. But he's condemning TX Galaxy.
Yeah, I mean, football, it's a game where mistakes will be there. But when mistakes do happen, there's processes and procedures in football that must be followed.
But also, Tatane, and I hear you, and you're always at the defense of the referees, but millions are invested in football by people like Tim Sugas. To watch millions go out the drain just because somebody whose job it is not doing their job at its full capacity, at the best way they should or can, I understand.
I also understand, and I can't defend something that cannot be defended. If it's an error, it's an error. I cannot say this is not an error.
Okay.
But then the behavior as well. I mean, if Mazola hit me, I cannot retaliate. And I'm also bad in terms of the rules. So let's play football in accordance with the rules because it has rules. Again, on Royal AM and Lindelan, where there was a fight, we also need to condemn. But we hope
must have been 20, 30 people involved in that fight.
Exactly. We hope SAFA will take high centers and send a strong message to the perpetrators because we cannot allow blow by blow in our football. If you want to play boxing, go to boxing. If you want to play football, you must learn how to restrain yourself and not use hands because only the goalkeeper is allowed to use hands. So in that situation, and women for that matter, I think it might be history in the world. Women fighting in the field of play, So we condemn this to say those who were involved in that match. It can't be. That's not boxing, it's football. People are coming there to watch football. They bring their kids. Now the kids are going to fight again because they've learned from that. So SAFA must take high sentence. They are waiting for the match commissioner's report, and which will indicate where we're going. The last one is we're going to soccer zone. People are wondering, Amazulu coach is saying Mubara, red card.
He got the ball.
We're going to soccer zone. We'll take this one to soccer zone and show our people whether he got the ball or not.
He got the ball.
So let me end here today because I'm not happy.
Hi, Tatane got the ball. 086-000-2160. On WhatsApp, it's 060-552-7303.
Good evening, Andile. Look, the referee in that game between, I think it was Kokune and Stellenbosch, if I'm not mistaken, he was really good, He was really good together with his assistants. But, you know, the refereeing in the entire season of the PSL, I think I'd give them a 3 out of 10. And it was really bad, and it's been really bad this season. We're not improving, we're declining, and it's rowing a lot of teams. And then, speaking of the referees, and Barcelona was robbed last night in the El Clasico. I don't know, maybe VAR stands for Video Assist Real Madrid in the La Liga. Maybe it stands for that. And then when it comes to Sundowns, yeah, we'll see if Hlungwani is that good of a coach, you know, come this Friday, because his tactics completely failed in the first leg, you know. And then he must stop using the same old players, because he complains about the players being tired, but he continues using them.
Hi Andile. The weekend there was.
Hey.
Let's see. As an Arsenal supporter, I sit in J Hope is our con. Hope. Okay, maybe it's a conny hope. Sure, it's Arsenal I surprise about. And J Gulenking is right now. Come end of the season, see Tatele or League. Please, and then Hade Mamelodi Sundowns, Sizobatola Mabazala Friday, sharp.
Hola, the three wise men. Yeah, my teams, Orlando Pirates and Man City. Yo, didn't get that happy, right? They didn't get that happy. Yeah, Man City, we're gonna win the FA Cup. We're gonna win the league. Yeah.
I wish I could argue
that. I just know. Orlando Pirates, we're going to beat Chippa United. We're going to win the Nedbank Cup. Happy people.
Listen.
Kevin De Bruyne, Musa Shanguve.
Thank you, KDB. Listen, like Tim Sugazi's actions, and you're right. I'm not defending them. I'm saying I understand where the frustration comes from. But as a leader, as an owner of a team, he should always be exemplary. Should not always let emotions get the better of him. And by the suggestion that money is exchanged hands, you put the entire league into disrepute. You know, you put the entire league now to say, hey, let's question this. I mean, I still watch cricket, you know, like 50% gotta get wrestling, because ever since I knew Uguti money exchanges hands so much in cricket, and there was proof that was set there, it's changed my view on cricket. You know, and every now and then I get railed back in, but sometimes I see unbelievable things, and I'm like, was that a great thing? Was that amazing? Was that all due to talent and just the great? Oh, is there another hand in it? So I do agree with you to somewhat, but help us help you as the referees. That's all I'm saying. Let's take your calls. I'd love to hear from you. Let's start with Lunga. Lunga wants to speak about Arsenal. Lunga. Lunga?
A weekend that was my.
Hey, the weekend that was. Go for it, my brother.
Yeah, man, last week beningibiza
awuzanga last week.
I called you on Monday when you wanted me high and low.
No, go for it. I'm listening.
Extra time.
I'm all ears. Go for it.
Arsenal bengi ngiyayibona ngithi ngibona uMazola lapha eMelrose Arc on Friday ngihamba nemedia ngithe sithi ngibulise lo mjisara uskaba star track wena man akulwana uko Melrose lwena uskaba star track
li two boy.
Yeah, on Friday past 2 ngimbonile.
Yeah, negilida.
Bona manje lo ngathi ngiyakudropa because ubhayisa uMazola kasho ngendlini ukuthi eMelrose. Bye bye, Lunga. Sbu is out in Mpumalanga. Hey, we're coming to Mbombela. We'll be there the whole weekend. I mean, it started already. Is he gone? Oh, man, he's gone. Sponel Shoba in KZN wants to speak about the mighty Amakosi. Sponel.
Yes, I want to Andile Botu Nobabuhlongwane lapho ngiyaphela
Andile.
I'm very sad because this is the time for you to call Kazamdaule Senior. He must come, the boss himself, he must come and explain to us what's going on at Naturena. We are very sad, my brother.
No, we feel for you, Shoba. Were you at the game?
The current players who are there are not willing to play for us.
Did you go to the game?
No.
Okay.
The current players, which are there, except are not willing to play for us anymore, my God.
Obani, inkinga obani.
The rest of the players, I can tell you, the rest of the players are not willing to play. I don't want to talk about Gonzalez, because I don't know who spotted Gonzalez at the first place, and he bring him to like this. Gonzalez is not a player. He's not a football player. Gonzalez, according to myself.
Wow. Sbo, ngiyabonga man. Very passionate day, Sbo. Let's go to Sbongeleni. Another Sbo out ematafeni. Sbo.
Anjana.
Hey, engathi ngcono kuneningi.
Hayi. Nami ngiyaphila ngale KZN. Hey, ngake ngiqale ku egemini le yethu engifuna ukuphawula ngayo amaZulu neOrlando Pirates. Ya, ngibonga nje ukuthi sesiqedile imidlalo esizodlala nePirates kule season because ube kusakhona owodwa khona bengizothi abalande ubaba uVictor Hlungwani iVAR yethu ibe khona kuleyo mdlalo because it seems as if every time when we play against the Pirates there will be those cries, you know. Ukuthi ureferee wenza ukuthi and it's not good because it's putting a team in a danger position kwilog, and also it's putting a coach in a danger position to lose his job. It's not good, I've been seeing this happening even if when we were playing against the Sundowns the very same thing happened, but I think because the CAF president is from our country, maybe he will do something to fix what is happening.
Oh, ngiyabonga man Sibongeleni. It's the passionate cries of those that spend their money. Jimmy uko Macau. Jimmy.
Andile.
Itaola brafan me.
Stavik.
Tera ngona man.
Mazola.
Sure, Jimmy.
Pero la mata, no urala, ngabala patela bibi.
Pero yo gasar phone every month ga wa dinner rona.
Bo Andile.
Eh.
Ne bra, kopela agreta figa na disani message za Kaizer Chiefs. Arba murumile bo bobi.
Okay.
Kopela abote bomuri hore ke motshwaretse coachara for free of charge. Ha tsone mo patela. Ha tsone la selo libitso la ha ke mosimane gape o nna go zone 7 o ratile guest house are for free at coach Kaizer Chiefs.
Uqedile Andile matla Jimmy.
Andile be a ka fana go bojoga di bonus ba tla ma ba di wa teng ba re tla re ma.
Let's go to Simplex. Simplex is in Cape Town and wants to speak about the more important factor than Kaizer Chiefs coaching right now, the referees. Simplex.
Greetings, three was in the office.
Hey.
Yes, I just wanna, I think we are getting too hard for the referees, man. We having professional coaches, we having professional players, and we don't have professional referees. Why can't they be professionalized so that it can be their full-time job, not part-time job? They'll be doing better.
That's true.
I think on Friday it was when somebody said here, and it's something that a coach has said before, I just can't remember who it was, who said, you've got part-time people that earn part-time money in charge of 8 million rand games.
Oof. Yeah, exactly.
No,
so now people are putting under pressure, but people are just doing part-time jobs.
Yeah, but they're not volunteers, Simplex. They're still getting paid. They're still putting that kit on, and they're still putting their hands up. If you want to be a professional, you need to make a good case for yourself to say, hey, look at how amazing we're doing, therefore we want to be professional. Not, hey, we're so bad, you should make us professional.
I mean, and they're not getting peanuts either,
How much do referees get paid again?
6,000.
When I retire, it was 6.5. When I retire in 2021.
And now?
I don't know now.
The thing is, it's not about what they are getting, but are they having full-time practicing? That's the thing.
No, they come from work. They've got to do it between work and the kids, and they've got full-time jobs.
Yeah,
but they're not full-time refereeing. From the beginning of the day.
Yeah, it's a good point, Simplex.
As players are doing, as these coaches are doing, hired from all over the world, and they are professionals. When they come here, they're doing the job.
Valid
so the
point.
referee, I'm yet busy in my farm, then later on the weekend I'm
Simplex, out in Cape Town. You make a good point. I appreciate you. I don't know how much that would do to assist or help the game, but one would like to think that it would if that's the only thing you're doing. Tatane, I appreciate you. I'll see you on Soccer Zone this evening where you cover most of these. We just don't have the time for all of them here.
Yeah.
So we divide them between the two shows. For those asking, Andile, why must I wait till later? There's no time to do all of them, so we divide them between the two shows. You'll get a different version there. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. This evening, 10 o'clock on SABC 1, we get into it with Dr. Khumalo and Hlompo Kekana. We take a look at the Sundowns game, the Kaizer Chiefs game as well, in more detail. But not leaving behind the women's game. I'll show you the visuals of what we're talking about. But perhaps maybe let's even moomish the women that put the game into disrepute. It's 4 after the hour 7. I'm Andile Ncube. I appreciate you. Pela. Nanzo.